Hello Reds, welcome along to All for United.
Reds around the world, welcome to All for United. I'm your host Joe Neal, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome you here for this hour or so of just slagging off Liverpool. I'm going to be honest with you. Before we keep going, John, can you hear me? Please say yes.
I can.
Yes. We have broken through the glass, people. We are going to have successful, faulty-free show, which is a first for me. And I'm going to be completely honest. I just muted someone there, and that's fine. I'm going to mute everyone just for a second because the attention is all on me, baby. For the next hour or so, I put a thing on Twitter there just saying we're not going to be going too much into the tactics. We're not going to be going too much into, deep-seated analysis on Liverpool against Man United, what we expect. We're going to spend the next hour bigging ourselves up and making fun of Liverpool because, let's be honest, I have had so much fun with the season they've had. I love everything about it, and I love the fact, my favorite thing about it, okay? I don't ever take joy out of someone getting injured. I would prefer Van Dijk was playing and the same thing would be happening because I fully do believe they would be in the same position because they're still not conceding many goals. They're just scoring none, and they're just being shit at the back, which is magic. So I love that they think they have an excuse. So it doesn't make them have to look deeper into the club to realize what the issues actually are. And I just love the fact that everyone has just stopped playing. So this season, and as well as us, we're playing great football for the majority. We've lost 4 games away from 4 games all season in the Premier League. Too many draws, absolutely. We're playing good football. Everyone's kind of coming into form now at the right time of the season. We dropped stupid points earlier on, but it looks like we're learning from our mistakes. We are growing, while Liverpool, I feel like they're receding a bit. That they're going back to type. I would say receding. No, I'd say going back to type. Because let's be honest, the past 30 years haven't been great for them. So, yeah. So get your comments in. What is your favorite aspect of Liverpool being bad this season? We'll enjoy this for as long as we can. And yeah, we're going to have a big laugh because we just beat Roma 6-2. They weren't playing this week. So it's been a great week all around. So, Jeff, going to come to you first. What have you enjoyed the most about Liverpool being shit this season?
Well, they're basically been found out, they've been so cocky for the past year, winning the Premier League in an empty stadium. So I was so glad that they're, as you said, back to type. And you're right, the major injury that they had was just Van Dijk. But yeah, the defense has been holding up with Fabinho down there. But I think Mo Salah is just looking forward to get out of there as soon as the transfer window opens. But if you look at the lineup, it's just pretty much unchanged except for Van Dijk. But, as you said, they stopped playing for some reason. They just want to get out there. Maybe it's a Liverpool weather or something. So it's been great. I mean, they got 1 year of bragging rights, but, that's all they get. And then maybe wait for another 30 to 40 years before they even try to get that back. So pretty good year for me. Yeah.
Yes. I also want to point out the absolute shade happening in the comments. The first 3 we got. James, Joe is very red. And followed by Abdul with, did you get burnt this week? And then who is he talking about? Joe. No, I didn't. I'm actually not that red at all, I don't think. I think it's just a shadow I'm in. And also, the light that's on me is a bit red. So that's where it's coming from. I have not seen the sunshine. I've been working in a hospital. What have ye all been doing? Thank you. So I'm going to go on to Wes. It's the first time I have the pleasure. And guys, we've only got 3 comments in. We're spending the next hour slagging Liverpool. How are any Man United fans not waxing lyrical into the comments? So get in there now. I know you're all watching. I know you're all dying to say stuff. So get in, make fun of Liverpool, and I'll share them all. We're going to have a laugh for the next 55 minutes or so. So Wes, for you, what is your favorite thing about Liverpool being less than good this year? And you're muted. Don't worry, it happened to everyone at once. You're grand. You can talk now. You're unmuted. You're unmuted.
Yeah, so I think the most enjoyable thing for me about Liverpool this season is, seeing that Anfield fortress kind of get some downtime. The likes of Burnley going there and getting results. It's seeing them lose their home games. They've become a bit too big for their boots in the last few years. They have had success, very minimal success compared to us over the last 30 years. I think in such a short period of time, they went to planet Mars and they've returned back very quickly. And I think that, at the moment, I fancy our chances against them again on Sunday. I always do at the moment because let's be brutally honest, I don't think they're a particularly good side at the moment. They look shot for confidence. I think I've gone past the stage of sticking the knife in. I'm now at the stage where I think I kind of feel a little bit sorry for them, because they're not great. They're not great.
Everyone boo Wes. Wes, I will not have that. Do not feel sorry for them. I like pitying them. Don't feel sorry for them. Okay?
No, honestly, I've absolutely hammered Liverpool year after year after year, and I feel that now I'm kind of wasting my breath by saying the same things over and over again. We're a miles better team than them at the moment. I think that they have had injuries, but I don't think that they can use that as a total excuse for the season that they've had, because in year after year we bounce back every season, defending our titles successfully. Even when we've had older players, even when we've had injuries, we've still gone out the following season and done a job. And we did have one of the best, if not the best manager in the world at the time, and the best manager that's ever lived, in my opinion. I don't think Jurgen Klopp is anywhere near Sir Alex Ferguson, and I've seen a lot of people in the last 12 months or so, comparing the two. But let's be honest, Sir Alex is on a completely different level, and I think that for Liverpool to have been self-proclaimed, best ever team the Premier League has ever seen in the last 12 months or so, I think it's an absolute joke, because what our football club has done in the last 25 years. You people go to the 99 team, and you got to look at the 96 team, the double winning team. That was something else. We talk about 99 all the time, but for me the 96 team was incredible. And we've even got the 08 team as well that's right up there, but they got a bit too big for their boots. And that's my thoughts on that, really.
Yeah, don't say it to James about the 96 team, because he was only, a twinkle in the milkman's eye at that point. Yeah. We got a couple of comments in already. I'll start with John, the ever-present John. The fact that they're making excuses for defeats to hide the fact that they don't have squad depth. Amazing, John. Thank you so much. Let's get more comments in. Fred, you must be out there. Paul, is it Paul? I don't know who else. The regulars, sorry. Get in there, get your comments in, slag them off. Abdel with an actual comment. They have been playing the same side for 3 years. The reliance on set pieces to bail them out sometimes also disappeared with VVD. Absolutely. And the thing is, I don't understand is, how can they be like, well, we lost Van Dijk, that's the reason we're shit. If you're entirely reliant on one player, that shows you have a terrible squad, terrible system, and just a bad manager. If that is, and I don't think Jurgen Klopp is a bad manager at all, but I'm saying if they're blaming that injury on him, like why they fell apart, then there's far more deep-seated issues that they're ignoring. And thank you, James, for the little. I'm going to give it a plug here. Don't let you distract from the fact that Jones Reese confessed to being a Liverpool fan in his short film. That short film being toxic. James, thank you so much. And I also point out that I was playing a character who was a man who suffered from toxic masculinity, and the only people I know who suffer from toxic masculinity are Liverpool fans. So it's all in type. It's all in type. But Abdi, we didn't get your name. Am I saying your name correctly?
I'm muting myself there. Yes.
Yeah,
that was correct.
Good. Yes, thank you. I didn't want to brag. I got it right in the first go. I'm going to come to you now. Why are you loving the fact that Liverpool are terrible this season?
You know what? First of all, I have to say thank you so much, guys, for having me on. I love your channel. I love the energy always. So many passionate United fans. And you guys, someone who lives in Manchester, someone who trust me, I know this rivalry deep, man. So for us to see them having this season that they're having, especially after the season that they had last season, where they thought they were the best thing that ever happened since sliced cheese, bruv, I'm telling you right now, we're enjoying this and we have to enjoy it because, first of all, I have to echo every single word that you guys have said it. And the one thing that I have to mention is the way they were talking about Jurgen Klopp, the media, the fans, rival fans, just like the way they were hyping him up so much. Like there's never been a better coach before him. And now you see him, after every defeat, after every performance, he's always coming up with excuses after excuses. He has made a fool of himself, and I absolutely love that. I am enjoying it. And not only that, you look at their players. This is not a team that can make an excuse of saying like, oh, we've got Van Dijk injured, our centre backs are injured. Nah, mate. Like if the end of the day, if you're a Premier League champion, you shouldn't be losing 6 games at home in a row to the likes of Burnley, Fulham. Is unacceptable. So they can have no excuses. Like as long as you have these players that have won the Premier League, I'm not accepting any excuses from them. And it's, you know what, since they won the title, I'm in a group chat with so many Liverpool fans, and, and the way they were talking about the game was like they've been winning for years. Like, you see what I mean? Like oh yeah, you can't do this, and I was just like, you know what, just relax, guys. It's only 1 league title in 30 years, and Klopp, for me, is the reason why they have become successful again. I have to obviously give them praise in terms of the football, the way they played the football. The last 4 years was
no praise. Stop praising them, Abdi.
Okay, I'll take it back. but what I mean about that is Klopp. Right now, you look at the way they're playing, and it just makes you happy to see them like that because they're playing with no confidence. And I cannot wait to see United come up against them. Second half FC. Turn up against them and just go for it. 5-6, man. I can't wait for the game.
Yes, that's what I want to hear. I can't wait for the game as well, which is making me equally terrified because every time I look for a game, United break my heart. But we're only being positive. Ashley Bird with a comment here. Semi-finalists done. I'm always heading to say that because Roma have come back from 4 goals before, but I think we are safe. We're odds-on safe. Top 4 is safe. Yeah, absolutely. And the Scousers are there for the taking. Yes. If Ollie doesn't go for it, I'm going to lose my mind. I think he will be a bit conservative. And that's the only tactic I'm going to talk for a while. And also, give it to Eddie Cavani. That is my jam for the rest of my life. I don't know if that's been there all week or just came up throughout the all year, or just came out throughout the week. It's the first time I heard it. I love it. I absolutely love it. But James, just tell us. Just go into. You like to be cynical. It's kind of your thing. You were upbeat for a couple of weeks when your glasses were missing. I don't know if they're the why you're so cynical, but how much have you been loving Liverpool's downfall? Has it just been pure joy for you, or you've just been too focused on Man United?
It has. It's just been nice, especially when they were really doing poorly. That run where was it 6 losses in advance at home? That was just the pinnacle. The fact as well, at the start of the season, they were doing pretty well. Even after Van Dijk got injured, they were still in the title race, and Liverpool fans would have you believe that they're going back to back, and Klopp was God on earth, and this, that, and the other, and then they just fell off astronomically. There's a small chance to get Champions League, but it's very small, especially with how good the other teams are around them. But it's just, I don't want to mention what everyone else has said, so I'll say it's nice to see that attacking trio get knocked off their perch. It's very clear how important Salah is out of the 3, given that the other 2 are just nowhere to be seen. Was it Mane scored 2 of his last 43 shots on target or something like that? And Firmino, we've always known he's just a glorified midfielder playing up front. So, he does a few nice flicks here and there throughout the game, but your striker's not putting the ball in the back of your net, and that's why you're, they're 6th. Yes, could go if Everton win the game in hand. So, yeah, it's nice to see. You're really seeing who the big players in this team are now. With Salah. Salah, I'll give credit to Salah. He's still in the Golden Boot race and everything, but I think without him, they'd be down with Arsenal at the minute. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see everything, how dependent they are on 2 players, and that it's becoming more and more obvious that you can't just run your players into the ground, play the same 11 every week for 3 years and expect nothing bad to happen, because that's what we're seeing now. It's just everything's unraveling, and it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. A couple of comments here. Vicky, when you start to believe your own hype, you are always in trouble. The whole "this means more" mantra is so misguided. Yeah, that made me sick when they were going on about stuff like that. And Abdul, he might be late to shows a lot, but he's always quick to be a Debbie Downer. Okay, some people are getting a little ahead of themselves. I'll take full credit for that, for getting ahead of myself. It won't be an easy game. They are better against the big sides as they get more space. They suffer with teams sit back against them. Abdel, we're not here to talk tactics. We're not here to look at this game objectively. We're here to make fun of them, okay? We might give a couple of minutes, sometime near the end or in the middle where we'll say, how we set up and all that sort of stuff. But until then, we're just going to laugh at them. We're going to laugh hard, okay? So after I go to John, John, I actually do have a specific question for you. I know, I love it. Wow, an actual question. I'm going to go around table then and ask. We still love you, Abdul. We're going to go round table to ask you. We are. Believe me, we are making fun. We're going round table and ask you, what is your favorite Liverpool game from this season? Okay, it can be Champions League, it can be League Cup, it can be FA Cup, it can be Premier League as well. But John, you are your hair wouldn't let us know, but you are the eldest member of this current fan group. The only reason I would even guess that is because your first game is in the 80s. So you lived through early years of Liverpool dominance, then our dominance, and then obviously Liverpool on top. While everyone watching, I'm presuming, unless some of us age a lot better than they look, we've only ever seen United great, Liverpool being shit, and then Liverpool kind of coming up every so often. So this is our first time living in a world where Liverpool were better than us. So for you, how happy are you for them being crap this year? And you're muted. And you're still muted. Okay, I'll mute you.
Thank you.
There you go. Go for it.
Yeah, so it's been great. Favorite Liverpool game this season, easy, when they lost 7-2 to Villa. And let's not forget, Virgil van Dijk played in that game. So let's put that myth to bed. Every club have missed key players at key times. We missed Pogba for various points, certainly in the second half of the season. West Ham are currently missing half their team. And the reason I highlight West Ham at the moment is I want to really put a dent in their Champions League charge on Sunday. And I really think that we could arguably finish them off in a way, or certainly basically make a huge difference to their chances of making the Champions League. And I would love it if they fail. I would love it. In the week of the anniversary of
John, please, if you're going to do the quote, you have to say, I'd love if we beat them. I'd love it.
Yeah, I'd love it. Exactly. And I was about to finish that.
Sorry, I ruined it.
Yeah, no problem. So I'd love it. And so, I do remember them being good. Interestingly, when they were good in the late 80s, early 90s or late 80s, we always had a good record against them, particularly at Anfield. And bringing back to the current day, I do have some regrets now about how that game went in January when we drew 0-0, just because of how vulnerable I didn't realise it so much at the time, but now I see just how vulnerable Liverpool were, given that run of defeats that they went on afterwards, losing all those home games that really we should have finished them off even then in a way, and really propelled ourselves to much greater things, perhaps. So, I remember them being good. It was awful. It was horrible. When we sort of managed to knock them off the perch, I almost think that cup victory in '96, before James was born, was really the nail in their coffin in a way of any hopes that they have of reclaiming that perch in the 90s. So that was excellent, and it would be great, if we can finish them off, because West Ham are still there, Chelsea and Leicester obviously in the positions, Everton are a threat. It's kind of 4 into 2 won't go, and we could finish them off on Sunday. It would be great if we did it.
Oh, it'd be fucking beautiful, wouldn't it? A wonderful Stuart is in the comments, and Stuart and everyone, please what is your favorite Liverpool game? And try the Villa ones we mentioned. Try look outside that if you can possibly as well. But this is an open question. Whoever wants to go for it. General thought from Stuart. Lads, anyone know who holds the record for worst Premier League title defense? I think that has to go to Chelsea. I don't remember how Blackburn did in their second season. I know they did terribly in the Champions League. John, can you remember where they finished? I know they got relegated like 3 years afterwards, but
Yeah, I do. Blackburn was horrendous. I think they were like 16th, 17th for large parts of the season. I don't know where they ended up. But in the modern sort of the last 10 or 15 years, that Chelsea defence, I think, is probably the worst. Probably because I don't think we can really look at Leicester's title defence too harshly, given the way they came from nowhere and kind of went back to nowhere in a way, or at least for the next year or so. So I think I would hand that unwanted prize, if you like, to Chelsea.
Yes, absolutely. And then John has a comment in here. What annoys me about the 6 defeats at home in a row was that it should have been 7 in a row. We should have beaten them in January and ended their home unbeaten run. But the FA Cup game was amazing. Absolutely, John. I do agree with you. And I feel like if we had played them the week, like I think Burnley were the one that beat them. If it was the opposite way around, I think we would have hammered them. I think it would have been, we would have annihilated them. I think Ollie was just a bit wary and we were top of the table to really go out and get them. That's what I think anyway. In hindsight, if we played the game opposite weeks, I think we would have beaten them. But we'll keep going. What is your favourite Liverpool game of the season across all cup competitions? What's Abdul, sorry, had a comment in here. When they lost 4-1 to City, Allison playing the ball to Foden and cost them 2 goals while Liverpool fans went up. Oh, that was, to be fair, I wish it wasn't City, but that was beautiful to see. There's nothing better than they go on full meltdown. John Commode, my favourite Liverpool defeat was the FA Cup game against us. Wonderful game of football, which I was glad we won. Absolutely, John. Absolutely. Jeff, but over to you. What is your favourite Liverpool game this season?
Maybe the Merseyside derby where Van Dijk got injured. That's where they started, making excuses. Started just breaking down mentally. Klopp just, he used that as a crutch, and because of that, the players used that as a crutch. That hey, we're not that good this season because Virgil's out. So, that would be my favorite. I mean, it's kind of mean, but we're here on air to be mean to Liverpool, so that's fine. I'm really surprised that who's the keeper again of Everton? Pickford, yeah. So he got away with it, with all the bias with Liverpool from last season. I was surprised that he got away with it, and just nothing from the FA, nothing from the Premier League of even penalizing Pickford for that. So that would be my favorite Liverpool game for the season.
I think they just looked at all the Liverpool fans go mad and go, this is too funny to punish Pickford. But Wes, my man, on your debut episode with me anyway, and that's all that matters on this entire channel, what is your favourite Liverpool game of the entire year?
Yeah, well, obviously you look at the obvious, the Villa game, but I took more. I'm going to have to go with Burnley. The 1-0 defeat against Burnley at Anfield, for me, the satisfaction from seeing this fantastic Liverpool team absolutely struggling to beat Burnley at home. For me, that's, you look at Liverpool now and you're seeing who the big characters are in their team, and a lot of their players have gone missing. They were throwing out Trent Alexander, best right back in the world. Andrew Robertson, best left back in the world. We had the best goalkeeper in the world. Well, if you've got the best goalkeeper and the best players in the world playing in your team, then why are you sixth? Do you know what I mean? So, and the experience and the characters, it's very different. I don't know whether it is obviously they're shot on confidence. You could see that from the games that they were playing at Anfield. That 6 games that 6 games in a row that they did lose. I'd have to go with Burnley, followed closely by Fulham, because when you look at Man City 4-1, it's not a result that you look at and you think, wow, it's a big result. Not this season with that Liverpool team, but when they're losing 1-0 home, but Burnley, Fulham, for me, that's the icing on the cake. And that for me, that's something I can always say to Liverpool fans and be like, well, yeah, you did lose to Burnley at home, you did lose to Fulham at home. You ain't that good. You ain't that good. So, and I was disappointed that we didn't get 3 points at Anfield. I think that we missed big chances in the game. Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, there were big chances in the game. There were chances to win it. I thought we were the better side in that game. So to come away with a point felt like coming away from Anfield with a loss at that point. Do you know what I mean? But this Liverpool team, it don't bother me in the slightest, and I can't wait for Sunday because, do you know what? To be honest with you, I think Liverpool need to be very, very careful because we play better against teams that come and have a go. And, Roma last night, they did have a go. There was a lot of space at the back. We scored 6 goals. It's Liverpool. They're going to come and have a go. There's no doubt about that. There's going to be so much space to occupy, in the Liverpool half. I think we'll win the game, but they need to be careful. They don't have a hammering because I think this side at the moment, we're like fuel on the fire. We're flying. We are playing well. We're scoring a lot of goals. So, I'm excited for the game. I'm actually up to Old Trafford on Sunday. So if any of you guys are there, I'll catch you guys there.
Well, see, I definitely won't be because it'll be illegal for me to fly. But I'll be there in spirit. Commenting, I like your hoodie, Wesley. Full name as well, Wesley, from the lovely Mark.
Cheers, man.
Boy George. And your apparel, which Joe can't say. I can say it. I literally just said it there. Apparel. Okay,
thanks,
thank
Mark.
you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, you bollocks. Abdi, for you. And guys, get your comments and get your thoughts in. What is your favorite game Liverpool had this season? Let's have a lot of fun here, okay? Abdi, what is your favorite game of Liverpool season so far?
Yeah, I have to agree with all of you guys. To see them Liverpool losing at home to the likes of Burnley, Fulham, that Everton game, the Merseyside derby, when Van Dijk got injured, and also the disallowed goal in the last minute, when
Yes,
that was really enjoyable. But I have to mention before I mention that game, the game that I like the most about them, there is something that I remember specifically about United and Liverpool, and that was the game in 2019. That is the game that I was completely sold on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Before that game, I wasn't sure about him being a coach or being given the permanent job. That was the game that finished 1-1 where Lallana equalized. But was it? Yes, I'm sure it was. Or Rashford scored where James crossed it. That game, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer played really well, tactically, all of that. So I know I'm digressing, but I had to mention that one bit. The game where I really enjoyed, you have to mention the Aston Villa game. You can't really, ignore that. And also, it came at the back of United losing 6-1. So while people were making, jokes about us, I was like, you know what, Liverpool are losing 7-2 to Aston Villa. So who's really talking about us? And then the other game where I really, really enjoyed to see them losing, was against Leicester City. When they took the lead with Mohamed Salah with amazing finish, and then they collapsed within 15 minutes to go. They just completely collapsed. I really enjoyed that, man. That was just beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. Was this our FA Cup 3-2 felt good, man? Absolutely can't agree with you more. And Vin, I shouldn't put this comment up because you had a perfect opportunity to say hello, Vindran, because Vin. No, okay, James. Okay, don't give me that. He does a pun every time he comes on the show, so that's really after letting us down, Vin. Don't comment again until you have a good pun, okay? If you wouldn't mind, and even if you do mind. But James, coming to you, what is your favourite loss of Liverpool this season, or win if you want to go?
I was going to go Leicester as well, but I feel I'll pick another one now. So I'll go with Brighton, purely because we were watching it in the house downstairs, and it's the game that cemented Dan Burn's legacy as a hero in our house, because he's so gangly and useless, and yet he tore that Liverpool right hand side apart with his very minimal pace, very minimal technical ability, and yet he was still able to make Trent look very amateur. I think he even got an assist for the goal as well. So just purely for the memories around it and the bonding over our love for Dan Burn, I'd go with that one.
Yeah, that's a great shout, and I'll go with that too. John, you gave us your one with Aston Villa, so I'm going to change it up a little bit for you with again. The most frustrating tweet, I do think the media have gone far too easy on Liverpool. I think they've all gone into this thing of, poor them. Oh no, they won the league and then they can't. And someone had a comment there, I can't find it, where Liverpool will be the first team to get a, what's the thing where a trophy tour when they finish in seventh place. You're like, part of me wants them to get that because I just know how pathetic it is. Once they lose the title, once it's officially not there anymore, and they do the Champions Parade, that's it. Yeah, they will just look like absolute losers, which they are. But my question to you, John, a tweet that really annoyed me specifically was, has this dynasty died? Liverpool winning, was it 2019 to 2020, where they won the league and they won the Champions League in two separate seasons. I'm like, that's not a dynasty. That's not that's a good 2 good seasons. A dynasty is when you, over the course of, let's say, 3 years, you win 8 trophies or something like that. Like, that's in that time. Man City have had a better 2 years. We'll say won the league 1 season, won everything else. Like, basically, how pathetic are Liverpool fans? I believe is my question for you, John. And do they annoy you on your social media?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, regarding dynasties, I mean, I think even 3 years has been generous. I would probably look at a decade to talk about a dynasty. I mean, Ferguson obviously was 26 years with us. We talk about that dynasty, but it took him probably 20 years really of work, if you like, to regard that as a dynasty. So 18 months, excuse me, 18 months. I mean, what can you do in 18 months? Have a couple of kids? I wouldn't really call that a dynasty. So, yeah, what's the most annoying thing I've seen? Not sure. I mean, the last 12 months has been mostly funny stuff, whether it be meltdowns, as you've mentioned, collapses, excuses, complaints, very, very grumpy interviews from the king of cool, Jurgen Klopp. And I don't think he covered himself any glory last Monday, was it? Or the Monday before, after the Leeds game. So it was Monday before. I saw this narrative that emerged partly because of Jamie Carragher's reaction, which is like, I love that reaction for him, condemning the Super League. No, he didn't. Watch that interview again. Yeah. He condemned Leeds. He condemned the idea that Liverpool fans would want to remove the fan flags from the Liverpool stadium, etc. He was basically sitting on the fence where he possibly could, and basically not criticizing the league or the decision. I thought that he was pretty pathetic in that interview, and I was very disappointed with Jamie Carragher's biased response to it. Just, I love that. And so what you then have, and that we've seen this in the social media world that we live in, really, and many other respects, is that actually lies can travel a lot quicker than the truth. Because the truth was, he sat on the fence. He condemned Leeds. He condemned the players. He condemned the way that Leeds reacted to that Super League by trying to use it, in his opinion, as a one-upmanship. Liverpool and their players were invited to condemn the league, and they chose not to condemn the league and the notion. He chose not to. The players chose not to, and they chose to ignore their fan base in doing so. So let's get the truth out there. From Jurgen Klopp's reaction, it was a very poor one. I have a small amount of sympathy for him because he was put in a chair in that 48-hour period, whereas other people weren't. But he had a chance to come out and criticize it. He chose not to, and he instead decided to criticize Leeds and basically took the piss out of his own club and took the piss out of his own fans.
John, I could listen to you for days, weeks, months, and years. In a general sense, I can listen to you anytime, but especially when you're Liverpool bashing, it just makes it a lot better. A couple of Ugly Bear, thanks for joining us. Liverpool LFC are done. They're already in transition and potless. Interesting. There's a question up here which I'm going to give to you all before I go to your match predictions. But a serious question: who saw this Liverpool meltdown coming? And why did it happen? I'll go across the board with that. Jeff, for you first.
It's basically burnout. As you said, there's not much depth, and with the style of play that they have with a high press, gegenpress, and with a very high defensive line that they just need to run at all times. So basically burnout. It happened to City too, but the difference with City is they have the depth. Like they have Team A, Team B, and they switched it on middle of the season, and now they're disappointingly they're top. So, but with Liverpool, I think they tried a similar tactic, but for the past 3 years it's been their 11, and anyone who does the same thing for 3 years in any industry, any career would get burned out. So, I think it's just basic burnout, and now you see the effects, and there's still class in there, but the motivation it's harder to come by for them. So that's why you have these late draws and just the loss of focus after scoring. So burnout.
Love to hear it. I used to love that game as well when I was a kid. Wes, my man with the lovely apparel. What was my question again? Oh yeah, did you see the meltdown coming? Was it obvious for you from a mile away, and what caused it?
Yeah, for me, I think that one of the main reasons is that they've been found out. They're very predictable when they play. If you watch Liverpool, they like to switch the play many a times between the fullbacks. They have missed Van Dijk massively. I don't think that is an excuse for their meltdown, because they do have other players that can come in and fulfill that role. They're heavily reliant on the fullbacks. They've not got a very big squad in terms of depth. I agree with Jeff when we go with burnout. I think that it has taken its toll. They're doing the same things every game. I don't see a plan B from Liverpool. They seem to persist with the same tactics and just hope that they get through games. When I'm watching Liverpool, it's very pedestrian at the moment. I think that's probably a lot to do with confidence. But yeah, I think it makes, when you watch Liverpool now, it makes you appreciate the great teams of Manchester United more. My reason for saying this is because they've dropped off massively, absolutely massively. We don't know the exact reason for it. Whether Jurgen Klopp does or not, I don't know. But you have to look at the great Manchester United teams over the years, winning title after title after title after title. With, you know, they set the bar there and they raised it the following season. This Liverpool team seemed to have lost the hunger. Whether it's because they've won a league title now, that they think that, okay, we've done it, we don't need to be as good as what we were last season or the season before. I do question the professionalism and the mentality of that team. But like I said, it makes you look at our teams over the years and realize how good of a team and how good of a manager we actually had to keep demanding the level of performance and to win trophy after trophy every season. No one will ever compare to it. No one will ever come close. You can throw Pep Guardiola at me all you want. Manchester City and Pep Guardiola will never, ever come close to Manchester United and Sir Alex Ferguson. And that's a fact.
I love those facts.
Absolutely.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Abdi, for you. Did you see this coming from a mile away, or did it sneak up on you?
No. First of all, I didn't see it coming because this is the team that has won the Champions League and also the Premier League. But I have to, again, agree with the boys. You know, nobody will ever come close to Alex Ferguson. You know, no matter what City do, listen, this is not organic. We all know it. Alex Ferguson has done it the right way, and they will never, ever achieve it the same way that he did it. Why is this happening? Obviously, I didn't see it coming, but why is it happening now? I just blame their own fans and their arrogance. They made these players like football gods, like better than what they are, and like proper legends already. And come on, they only won one Champions League, one Premier League, and they made them like they've been the best team ever. And that gets to the players. It makes them arrogant. And obviously, their coach is already arrogant himself. Like, he's one of the most arrogant people you ever see. So that gets into the head. So they go into the season thinking like, yeah, we signed a Thiago. We don't need a centre back, so let's tell Lovren, and we're just gonna play Fabinho if anyone gets injured, and thinking like they're gonna get away with it. That is absolute arrogance, and that's one of the main reasons. And also not replacing or not having a replacement for Alexander-Arnold or Robertson, despite them playing so many games the last 3 seasons. So all in all, is just down to lack of planning and just poor management from the whole team.
Yep. More negativities, please, guys. James, you love a bit of cynicism, as you brought up before. What's your take on how expected this was?
I didn't expect it personally, but looking back, I probably should have done, given that, you know, just pure poor planning. You know, you go into a season with 3 senior centre backs, one of them Joel Matip, who's notoriously injured, and you complaining that you don't have depth at the centre back and you're having to play players out of position. You know, they sold Lovren in the summer. So they did have 4. They had a solid backup centre back, and they sold him, didn't replace him, and then, you know, suddenly when everything goes to pot, when your main defender gets injured, you act surprised. I think that's very poor planning. Obviously, you've got to give some credit to the fact that Van Dijk was injured. I think, as painful as it is to say, that is going to have a big effect on any team. You look at when Ferdinand got injured in I think it was 2003 when we got knocked out to Porto. was injured just before that, and the season crumbled from there. So it does have an effect, without doubt, has an effect on the whole team. But just poor planning. How can you go into a season with 3 senior centre-backs, one of whom won't be fit for 50% of the time? Joel Matip's a great centre-back, but when he plays, he's like Eric Bailly. He'll miss more games than he plays. And to go in with 2 centre-backs, which you're heavily reliant on, and then him as your backup, I think it's so stupid. And we saw with the panic buys in January as well, Kabak had more mistakes than good games. And who did he even sign? Ben Davis, who's not played a game yet.
Yeah,
I don't understand. It.
I love this from John Kermode, which I forgot about. Remember when he complained about his team being tired and he put a strong team out against Aston Villa's kids in the FA Cup? Yeah, that was really embarrassing. And I think this might be one of my favorite games. I think Liverpool beat Crystal Palace 7-0 and convinced themselves they won the league. After they won that game 7-0, they lost. They didn't win again till like February or something like that. I can't really remember. It was the longest time. And
it was.
Who remembers his excuse? Yeah, the excuse that he gave when Alisson made the mistake. I don't know if it was the City game or the Leicester City game. It was a ridiculous excuse that he used.
Is it the wind?
Yeah, it must
Too
have
windy.
been the wind. The wind, yeah.
Love it.
It's too windy.
Ridiculous, man.
John, for yourself, could you see this coming? Was this obvious for you, or were you taken by surprise as well?
No, I would say I was taken by surprise. Largely, I didn't see it coming, and unlike one or two other people who mentioned earlier, I thought that 0-0 draw at Anfield was possibly a point gained. At that point, I saw Liverpool and United I was hoping United would be in a title race, and I saw Liverpool as being one of the contenders as well. So actually, at the time, I saw that as a point gain. Looking back, I do definitely see it as 2 points dropped. And Joe, I completely agree. If we'd met Liverpool a couple of weeks later, I think we would have seen a different result. So no, I didn't see it coming. Although what I will add to that comment is now I have seen it coming, and the beauty of hindsight and all that, I can now see echoes of the Dortmund era.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on. I got too excited, John. Go on.
No problem, Joe. So yeah, he had 3 or 4, or 3 excellent years, I think it was, at Dortmund, and then his final year at Dortmund was a collapse. And in fact, they were in the relegation spots for large periods of that season. I think they got to the Pokal, the German Cup final. But basically, that was his last 12 months and was almost like a farewell tour for him in many respects, because I think everybody did see him leaving the club at the end of that year. And then he had a sort of a brief time out of the game before joining Liverpool, I think, towards the end of that calendar year. So, but there are echoes of it. And putting my finger on the exact reason, I think some of the guys highlighted, burnout and stuff, and his intense style and his intense ways of both managing and playing perhaps do come into that. And when you have got 1 or 2 issues with the squad, some 1 or 2 holes, they will get exposed even more. Now, of course, the question has to be, can he recover? Can he arrest the slide? And we've touched on Ferguson, and we had slides during the 26 years. We had lulls, we had moments of down, but it was his ability to arrest those slides that I think made him great. So then, if Liverpool now go on a run of 5 years of success after this 1 year bad, if you like, then we can talk about dynasties. But until then, forget it.
Oh, John, you're an absolute legend. I make sure to buy his book, even the defeats, because I genuinely can listen to you for the rest of my life. It's up there. We'll do a zoom there again, and you can just yes, there it is. That's the only copy, so you have to attack him to get it. Guys, we want to finish this off now. Stick around. In 45 minutes, the Women's Weekly Show will be on. Thank you so much for joining us here for the last just about 45 minutes of just slagging off Liverpool. We all know we're going to win. We're going to win 4-0. Greenwood's going to score a hat-trick. And James is right. Because there's a reason I have to run off. So thanks so much to the guys for joining us. Make sure to follow them on their social medias. Make sure to be sound and make sure to watch the game and make sure not to buy any merchandise from Man United or Man United's affiliates, because you want to get the Glazers out. But until then, you're a bunch of legends, and stick around 45 minutes and we'll see you back when we're 3 points heavier. Sound.